What's up, Celtics fans? Today we've got a lot to talk about, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of this. Now, if you were one of those folks who thought the Boston Celtics' hopes vanished the moment Jason Tatum went down with that brutal Achilles tear late in Game 4, you might want to rethink that take. Because last night at TD Garden, the Celtics delivered a statement, a loud and clear message to the entire league that they are far from done. In fact, they might just be getting started. Even without their All-NBA superstar, Boston didn't just scrape by. They didn't rely on some miracle buzzer beater or hope for the Knicks to collapse. No, they went out there and straight up dominated. From start to finish, it was all Celtics, putting on a show in front of a roaring home crowd and sending this series right back to Madison Square Garden for a decisive Game 6. This wasn't luck. This wasn't desperation. This was a team showing its true championship DNA. Now, let's talk numbers, because they tell the real story here. Derek White and Jaylen Brown, two guys who have been clutch all season, stepped up in the biggest way possible. Together, they poured in a combined 60 points, filling the scoring void left by Tatum's absence like seasoned pros. And it wasn't just about buckets. Luke Kornet came out of nowhere and flirted with a triple-double in points, rebounds, and blocks, all in just 26 minutes on the floor. The man was everywhere, doing all the little things that don't always show up in highlight reels, but make all the difference in playoff basketball. And here's the kicker. That 25-point blowout wasn't just impressive, it was historic. It marked the largest margin of victory for either team in this entire series. In a matchup that's been a back-and-forth grind, Boston finally cracked the code. And now, all the weight of expectations is crushing down on the Knicks. They'll have to respond at home, in front of their own fans, with the entire city watching and expecting a win on Friday night. But what exactly changed for Boston? How did they flip the script so dramatically without their biggest star? Well, this morning on Get Up, Heat legend Udonis Haslem broke it down perfectly. According to Haslem, the Celtics made a brilliant adjustment after losing Tatum. They went straight at Jalen Brunson. Every single chance they got, Boston attacked Brunson relentlessly. It wasn't just Jaylen Brown leading the charge. Derek White got in on the action too. Every possession became a hunt, a mission to exploit Brunson's defense, to put him through the ringer, force him to defend in space, and get downhill for high percentage looks. Haslem described it perfectly, saying Boston had Brunson in a spin cycle, and honestly, that's exactly what it looked like. The strategy was ruthless and effective. By halftime, Brunson had 0 fouls. 0. But the Celtics were just getting warmed up. In the third quarter, they went for the jugular. In less than 10 minutes, Brunson racked up 5 personal fouls. Just like that, the Knicks floor general was in serious trouble, and the momentum had completely swung in Boston's favor. With 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third, Brunson had to hit the bench. The Knicks were already trailing by 13 points, and it only got worse from there. He came back to start the fourth quarter, but his night didn't last long. Barely a few minutes in, Brunson picked up his 6th and final foul, fouling out with over 7 minutes still left on the clock. By then, the Celtics had ballooned their lead to 22 points. The damage was done, and the Knicks simply had no answer. Throughout this series, New York had shown resilience, fighting back from double-digit deficits more than once. But this time, without their leader on the floor, they looked lost. They didn't have the firepower or the composure to mount another comeback. Boston, on the other hand, smelled blood and never let up. And here's where things get really interesting. Jason Tatum is undeniably one of the premier talents in the league. His scoring, his leadership, his presence, it's all invaluable. But the Celtics aren't a one-man show. Far from it. They've built a squad that's deep, versatile, and battle-tested. Jaylen Brown, the reigning Finals MVP, reminded everyone why he earned that accolade. Derek White continues to shine under pressure. Jrue Holiday, a champion before ever donning the green and white, brings that invaluable poise and defensive grit. This team knows what it takes to win. They've been through the wars. And now, even with Tatum sidelined, they're proving that they're still very much in the hunt for another title. Looking ahead to Game 6, the pressure shifts entirely to the Knicks. Playing at Madison Square Garden is never easy, but this time, the stakes are even higher. That iconic arena will be a cauldron of noise, with fans expecting nothing less than a series-clinching victory. But here's the thing. The Knicks have been shaky at home. Before their Game 4 win, they were riding a 3-game home losing streak. So, the big question is, how will they respond if Boston comes out swinging and builds an early lead? Will the crowd rally behind them? Or will that energy turn into nervous tension? Jaylen Brown, after the Game 5 win, said it best, "I know it's easy to kind of write things off, but we still got basketball to be played. Don't count us out just yet." And he's right. Udonis Haslem isn't counting Boston out. Neither should anyone else. The Celtics have once again shown they can rise to the occasion, adapt, and punch back when it matters most. So, to all those who thought Boston was finished, consider this your wake-up call. This series is far from over, and with the momentum shifting, the Celtics are looking more dangerous than ever. The fascinating thing about this Celtics squad is how they seem to thrive when their backs are against the wall. Losing Jason Tatum should have been a knockout punch. Most teams would have folded, accepted the narrative, and quietly bowed out. But not this team. There is a mentality within the Celtics locker room that refuses to accept defeat. It's the product of years of building, suffering painful losses, learning hard lessons, and ultimately forging a group of players who know how to respond when the lights are brightest. Think about last year's championship run. It wasn't just Tatum carrying the load. Jaylen Brown took center stage when it mattered most, earning Finals MVP honors because he consistently delivered in crunch time. Derek White became the kind of player who doesn't shy away from the big moments, hitting crucial shots, locking down on defense, and providing that steady hand every contender needs. Drew Holiday, even before joining Boston, was known for his ability to impact winning on both ends of the court. This is a team built for adversity. Game 5 showcased exactly that. The Celtics played with a chip on their shoulder, and their game plan was executed to perfection. Their physicality, their defensive rotations, their willingness to attack weaknesses without mercy, it all came together. The strategy of relentlessly targeting Jalen Brunson wasn't just smart. It was symbolic. It sent a message. Boston is going to dictate terms, no matter who is missing from their lineup. Beyond the X's and O's, what stood out was the Celtics' energy. Every loose ball was theirs. Every 50-50 rebound seemed to land in green hands. The hustle plays, the deflections, the extra passes, all of it pointed to a team that wasn't just playing to survive, but playing to prove a point. The crowd at TD Garden fed off that energy, turning the arena into an absolute fortress. It felt like playoff basketball in its purest form. But let's not pretend Game 6 will be anything less than a war. The Knicks are wounded, sure, but they are still a dangerous opponent, especially with their season on the line. Madison Square Garden is one of the most intimidating environments in all of sports, and the Knicks faithful will be out in full force, desperate to see their team close this out. The Celtics, however, are embracing the challenge. One key factor heading into Game 6 is the psychological edge. After the way Boston dismantled New York in Game 5, the pressure is squarely on the Knicks. They had an opportunity to step on the Celtics' throats and finish the series, but they failed. Now, doubt starts to creep in. Can they stop Boston's momentum? Can they adjust to the Celtics' newfound aggression? And more importantly, can they survive without Brunson getting into foul trouble again? From Boston's perspective, there is a quiet confidence brewing. They found a formula that works, even without Tatum, and they'll be looking to replicate that on the road. Expect more of the same, attacking mismatches, punishing defensive lapses, and pushing the tempo whenever possible. But it's not just about X's and O's at this stage. Playoff basketball is as much about composure and mental toughness as it is about talent. Jaylen Brown's leadership is going to be crucial. His ability to stay poised, to keep the team locked in, and to deliver when it matters most will set the tone. Derek White's consistency will be vital as well. His two-way impact gives Boston a stability that few teams can match. And let's not overlook the role players. Guys like Cornette, Sam Hauser, and Peyton Pritchard will need to continue stepping up, providing quality minutes, hitting timely shots, and keeping the intensity high. One underappreciated element in this series has been Boston's defense. Even without Tatum's versatility on that end, the Celtics have managed to maintain their defensive identity. They're switching effectively, communicating at a high level, and forcing New York into uncomfortable shots. This defensive discipline will be paramount in Game 6, especially if the Knicks come out with a renewed sense of urgency. What also can't be ignored is Boston's experience. This isn't their first deep playoff run. They've been to the mountaintop. They've faced elimination games. They've won hostile road games. That collective experience builds a level of calm that is invaluable in moments like these. While the Knicks have undoubtedly improved, they haven't yet proven they can consistently close out series against top-tier opponents. That's an advantage Boston will be looking to exploit. For the Celtics, the mindset is simple: survive and advance. They know that forcing a Game 7 at home would flip the entire dynamic of the series. All the pressure would then fall back onto the Knicks, who would have squandered a golden opportunity. Boston, on the other hand, would ride into that final battle with all the momentum and the backing of a raucous TD Garden crowd. And let's not forget, the Celtics have been here before. They know what it's like to claw their way back from the brink. They know how to stay locked in, to take it one possession at a time, and to trust in their system. That resilience, that belief in the collective, is what makes them so dangerous. Every playoff series has a turning point, a moment when the narrative shifts. Game 5 might have been that moment for Boston. The way they played, the dominance they displayed, it wasn't a fluke. It was the culmination of everything they've built over the past few seasons: the culture, the chemistry, the grit. Now, with their season still hanging in the balance, they have a chance to deliver another statement performance. The beauty of playoff basketball is its unpredictability. One game can change everything. And while losing Tatum was a gut punch, it also galvanized the Celtics team in a way few could have predicted. They are now playing with a nothing-to-lose attitude, and that makes them incredibly dangerous. As the Celtics prepare to step onto the floor at Madison Square Garden, they do so with a clear mission: extend the series, bring it back to Boston, and keep their championship dreams alive. The task is daunting, but this team wouldn't have it any other way. The story of these Celtics isn't about one player. It's about a team that refuses to quit, that finds strength in adversity, and that knows exactly what it takes to win when the odds are stacked against them. Game 6 is going to be a battle, but if Game 5 taught us anything, it's that counting out Boston is a mistake. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well.